In my last video talking about Deltarune theories, I had a ton of comments saying that it wasn't very well researched. So I've taken it upon myself to go through the lesser known stuff about Deltarune and inform both myself and you guys. You're getting locked in for 12 minutes 25 seconds of Deltarune Chapter 3 facts. Some of these are important secrets and lore info, but I'm also covering the funny stuff you missed as well. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. Let's start with the big one, egg. In previous chapters, you simply had to walk back and forth between certain rooms to get the egg. Chapter 1 was the donut room, Chapter 2 was Spamton's dumpster, but Chapter 3's egg is insanely convoluted to get. 1. You need to go through this secret door to this puzzle, and instead of solving it, throw the blue block here to the right, then exit the puzzle. 2. Go to this room south of the green room. Get detected by this zapper, tell him that you're a cheater, tell him that you're going nowhere, and you'll be warped to a secret room by yourself. 3. Do the puzzle using the block you set up from the previous puzzle and then go right. 4. Go onto the console with this old guy, talk to him a bunch of times until a wardrobe appears, and then you'll get a trip ticket in your items. 5. Fast travel to Golden Sam, go to this room with the trash cans, and enter battle with a Ribic. 6. Act on the Ribic, hover your cursor over Crocon X, hold left, and then your soul will literally grow legs and then fucking walk off screen. 7. You're now at this weird Game Boy area. You can go north and then talk to the man behind the tree. After a completely incoherent conversation with choices that don't matter, you can get the egg. When the game wants you and Rose to be pushing buddies, you can stand there and do nothing. Eventually, Tenna will cut to a commercial with a fallen over Rose plush saying, "Why didn't you push him?" When you enter your name during the game show, there's several different names that will get you special dialogue. Entering ass will make Susie laugh because she had the exact same idea. Entering sus or rawl will make Tenna say, "It'll get confusing." If you try to enter pee or poo, Tenna will clear your name and say that's a no-no word. And if you try it twice, he'll give you the name bad as punishment. Entering will make Tenna say that you're already screaming from delight. Entering cry will make Tenna sad and contemplate things. Just kidding, he'll just make fun of you as always. Pretty much every curse word that isn't ass is censored. FCK, FUX, FUC, and FUQ are all censored. Not with a censor bar, but the game outright prevents you from putting the last letter if you already have F and U lined up. Funny enough, there's an unused cutscene for when you put in some form of the F word as your name. Tenna will be shocked, he'll cut to a technical difficulty screen, and your name will be replaced with fun. I guess fuck-ass Rao was too harsh for the censors. You can't put G as the last letter at all, so you can't say anything too offensive. And you can't put an M if it's followed by a C and a U. Oh, and you can't put WDG for WD Gaster. Now onto some unused stuff. The Knight has several unused attacks, and I'm gonna be honest, thank fucking God none of these were in the game, because I probably wouldn't have beaten him if I was dealing with this. Look at this bullshit. This guy makes Jevil look like a rooted. This is ridiculous. But you also have this attack where he just throws one knife and then his attack ends. It's like the dummy, he just ran out of knives. Thank you to Skawo for the footage there. Also, thank you for putting the Knight in the dojo. Really, really funny seeing the Knight just as a normal ass enemy in the fucking dojo. In the green room, you can play a game on the TV with Susie. Since the TV is facing away from the player, you can't see what's happening. So Susie will ask if you're even looking at the screen, since, you know, you aren't. Chris is, but you aren't. With debug mode, you can actually see what's happening, and the game is just a pixel and a square track, and you go around it. And going around it makes Susie mad from losing. Remember this cutscene where Rose talks about Darkners? This room in the files is literally called Nondescript Room, so you don't know whose room it is. Since Rose isn't real, I guess this would probably be Susie's? I mean, you get the monster poster on the wall and she was a fan of it, and you never see Susie's house, so it could be. Susie spends the entire week outside of her house, so I can't imagine it's going good at her place. The song playing right now is called Baci Perugina in the files. Baci Perugina is the name of a chocolate company from Italy. Why is the song called that? I don't know, but back in 1997, their slogan was Baci Perugina is waiting at home. So like, since you're in your home, the chocolate's at home, and I don't get it. Wait, 1997? Like Spamton's favorite year, everyone's favorite salesman, 1997, and the price of the thorn ring, 1997 Cromer. Oh my god, 1997 was foreshadowing chocolate this whole time! During the rhythm segment for Tenna's boss theme, Rose will go absolutely hog wild on the last note and then cover his mouth afterwards. The sprite is called Rose Sing Cuss, meaning Rose yelled something absolutely diabolical during this note. All sprites related to the cats with pink and yellow eyes don't have names and are just called sprite with like 10 underscores. Toby knew knew people would dig through the code for answers and purposely obfuscated any attempts to learn what the hell these things are. That and preventing you from naming yourself calm. The quiz encounter has some really weird unused sprites. I guess it was supposed to like walk at you like this. I don't know. This thing is freaky. Things really took a weird route. During a secret minigame in the Ice Palace, the hooded figure that follows you was originally a deer. However, there's a variable in game called Toriel that forces the game to use the hooded sprites instead of the deer ones. Remember when Tenna talked about there being a third game board? Well, there actually is. There is an entire unused game board that took place on a city. It has a song that never got used, along with very rough graphics. The enemy encounters are just generic filler enemies. It also has completely unused quiz questions like which of these is the composite cable and what was Asgore's favorite show, which the answer is a cowboy show. The next question is when does Asgore's favorite cowboy puppet show air? And all the answers are it was canceled. Wait, cowboy show that was canceled, just like Toy Story 2. Oh my god, I can't escape Woody. He is not inside me. By the way, since I got absolutely flamed in the last video's comments, I'm gonna give Woody Theory a 7 instead of a 0. I didn't know about that cutscene until researching this video, and I sincerely apologize. Once you get the cues, you can go to the final door, which has 20 more cues that you have to find, which leads to a 100-floor labyrinth. Susie thankfully puts an end to this by spilling yogurt under her controller, which leads to Tenna declaring a yogurt emergency with a white slimy background and goopy text. This part is still fucking hilarious, but unfortunately it just got cut very late in development. During the sad Tenna cutscene, they have the entire house drawn out even though you only ever see the right half of it. The Spamton cannon has its eyes drawn for its sprite even though it has a black sensor bar covering them in-game. And the knight has an unused sprite where they hold up a peace sign when they block, but the knight never blocks during battle, so they kinda just aura farm. Well, they're always fucking aura farming, but you get what I mean. Big thank you to the cutting room floor. I would have never in a million years found these unused things. Let's move on to the more random stuff. If you weren't able to get into the S rank room, there's multiple ways to get in. First, you can just, get good and get S rank, which I wasn't. You can also go south from the green room and pay this Pippin 1500 points for S rank. He'll slap a cool S on the back of your head and you'll be let in. You can also get the Shadow Mantle if you do really, really poorly on the game boards and get Z rank. Getting Z rank opens up a new room, and you can go inside Tenna's manhole to get backstage. In the Z rank room, there's an unplugged phone that looks very similar to Spamton's. If you get Z rank, the Pippin that lets you buy S rank will tell you that Z rank is too stank for him to wash off. If you die in battle on one of the game boards, Tenna will boot you out to the overworld and take some of your points. If you do really bad on a quiz, the game will say pain and then zap one of your party members with lightning. If you want to cheat, you can also go to your save file, search for the number of points, and manually edit the number to something high to afford S rank. Getting an S or a Z rank lets you go backstage and play with yourself. You start by farming XP on enemies in the Zelda minigame until you get to max level where you can cut down trees to get the ice key. After the second board, you farm XP again to eventually go to the top of the map in the Ice Palace. In it, you find a room saying the forbidden path began with ice magic. Then you find a white hooded figure, the one that used to have a deer sprite, and you have to stab it a bunch of times in order for it to follow you. She freezes the enemies into ice blocks that look like the one that Birdly got frozen in. You also have to freeze a bluebird to progress. After a few puzzles, you reach a door where you can use the key and get the message she was used up. So we used up the girl to get into the door and get the shelter key. The next time you play the game, you're on the city board with Susie and Ralze. You can't do anything besides getting your sword and killing them. Funny enough, Chris winces when you kill them. Then you kill some shit, you have to listen to Tenna yap about Spamton and kill Tenna so you can progress. You can then use the shelter key to get into the bunker where you have to fight a boss that summons the pink and yellow-eyed cats that had blank names. When you beat the boss, you literally walk off screen. Then you take control of the real Chris again. Then they walk on screen to get the chest and get the Shadow Mantle. Then Susie comes in and asks what we're doing. But you can still control Mini Chris and can smack Susie into Chris, making us get very, very close. Susie admits to tasting your shampoo in the bathroom and offers you to taste hers. Chris doesn't do it, but Susie gets all blushy about it. Cruzy fans got a 5-star meal with this one cutscene alone. So after After you waste an hour and a half to get the damn Shadow Mantle, you can finally fight the Knight. Well, it makes it so you don't get instantly one-shot by it. He is still hard as hell, and if he kills you, he'll take you down to negative 999 hit points, except for Chris. So the only way to recover is by using Revive Mints or Revive Dust. Defend and graze to get TP to use Rude Buster on Susie since that does the most damage. Other than that, try not to get hit, which, yeah, no shit, but still. You can't lose momentum by wasting turns to heal. Beating the Knight has Susie slam her sword into the Knights. A piece of it breaks off, Susie gets cocky, gets fucking atomized, Ralze gets atomized, and Chris kneels to the Knight. Either the Knight is knighting Chris for being a badass, or more likely they're working together so the Knight let them off easy. I mean, the Knight does 1,000 damage to Susie and Ralze, and only takes Chris down to negative 80. If you beat the Knight, you are rewarded with a Shadow Crystal and a Black Shard, a weapon that gives you plus 16 attack. It can be equipped on Chris and also Noelle for some reason. Ralze refuses to use it and says I shouldn't use it. The shard has a unique animation where it has a red slash over enemies when you attack with it. If you get B rank, you can use this little Gumball machine. You have to spend points to get rewards. Depositing 1,225 points lets you go inside the machine, taking you to a giant maze of pathways. It plays Dess's song from the Deltarune website, and eventually you'll find a tiny blue Gumball machine. Using it gives you a small dark triangle. You try to take it, but it falls through your hand. You try looking down, but you can't find your hand. This then boots you out of the room. If I had to guess, this was probably Dess's guitar pick. After Tenna captures you, he says, wait, no, not another battle, please. The family's fighting again. Chris lives in a fucked up ass house and Tenna has seen all of it. Speaking of couples fighting, La Nino and El Nina. Normally you have to act in order to end their battle and their relationship. If you try to fight them, you'll notice that they have absolutely insanely high hit points and the battle will naturally close after 12 turns. Long before you're able to even kill one of them. If you hack the game or get a better gaming chair, your game will crash the second you kill one of them. Chris does an absolute fuck ton of damage to Tenna, even more than Suze and Ralze. They must have really hated Tenna to want him dead that bad. They do not bring the same enthusiasm into the fight with the Knight. This fucking slacker literally just sits down and plays dead if you beat the Knight, and they do the least amount of damage. If your game is in a messed up buggy state, either by hacking or game breaking, you'll get to a dog check, which is just a gif of the annoying dog with a song to tell you that your save file is fucked and God help you. It looks like this in chapter 1 and 2, and there's a new one for chapter 3. The music is from the Unused city board. We all know the water cooler is insanely strong. Entering this door leads to a room with a water cooler. Trying to leave will spawn 2 water coolers to block both exits. Going in and out of the room will make the water coolers get closer and closer, eventually cloning themselves into an 8-man army of moisture. Oh, and if you want to know how strong these things are, they can survive a snow grave. It takes 2 fucking snow graves to kill one of these guys. A water cooler can live through snow grave, but Birdly can't. Toby Fox talked about Tenna on his Twitter. He made him originally in 2016. In the same year, he posted this gif where he talked about learning 3D. Initially, he tried to use a Kinect camera to rotoscope the animations, but that got scrapped. He tried making them do Miku dances, which also got scrapped. Eventually, he settled on Mixomel animations, which are royalty-free stock animations for 3D models. You can just plop onto your model and make them start dancing. Alright, looks like time is running out here, but I got one additional fact. In the files, Tenna's intro is saved as an MP4 file that you can replace with whatever you want. Yes! Yes! It just ends! And that's gonna end it. Thank you guys so much for getting this far. Please leave a comment if I got anything wrong or missed anything. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And special thank you to my patrons here, Lance Rockhard and Chris Griffin. You get early access to vids and a booster-only channel in my Discord. If you don't want to sub to the Patreon, sub to the channel. It still helps a lot. So does liking and commenting. I'll be making another facts video on Deltarune Chapter 4, and I will see you guys later.